The Top Gear Polar Challenge. James May recently revealed it was the greatest achievement of his Top Gear career. And today, we've got the truck. Fundamentally, this thing is a 3-litre diesel 2007 Toyota Hilux, but you Top Gear nerds will know just how much work and modifications went into it, making it one of the most intrepid vehicles ever made. The Hilux was originally modified by Reykjavik-based off-roading specialists Arctic Trucks, and we are at their UK facility, with the company having grown from Iceland and gone worldwide to the UK, Scandinavia, the USA and Dubai. They produce vehicles like this nowadays, and will also take you on expeditions just like the Polar Challenge in their top range of pickups. This was the first car to reach magnetic north then, so has it been battered and bruised, or has it been looked after since 2007? Let's take a look around. It's hard to miss the wheel and tyre combination on this pickup. The tyres are enormous. Looking at the sizing, 38 by 15.5 with a 15-inch rim on it. I've never seen a sidewall like it apart from on a tractor. They're actually made in-house here at Arctic Trucks. You can actually see the holes where the studs to make these tyres snow-worthy will hand screw in. That must take forever. Now, on road, these operate at around, well, in the 20s, maybe low 30s PSI, but as you guys will have seen in the show, they deflate to as little as below 2 PSI. What that essentially does is turn these tyres into tracks, so it has much more grip in the snow. So this pickup truck essentially turns into a tank. I often get asked how I got into car media as a career, and when I think right back, it was me struggling with my mental health, but then recovering and getting back in the game thanks to therapy that was the real catalyst to getting me into this industry. I was struggling upstairs in the middle of university, so I decided I didn't want to be a mechanical engineer, and I sat and thought, what would make me the happiest, pure and simple? After seeking help through a therapist and talking things through, I found what I thought would maximize my happiness factor in life, and it was creating cool content with cars. I sent an email off to Car Throttle asking for a summer internship, creating car content using my engineering degree, and the rest is history. It can often seem like you don't want to burden your loved ones with any issues that you're going through, and that's a perfectly normal feeling. Through personal experience, getting therapy is another way to get you out of a mental rut. And today's video partner, BetterHelp, connects you with a credentialed therapist who is trained to listen and give you helpful, unbiased advice. First, you go to their site. You can use our link below, betterhelp.com/DriveTribe. You answer a few questions and BetterHelp will match you to a professional who has years of experience helping people with struggles just like yours. You can do it all from your phone or computer via phone call, video chat or messaging, however you feel most comfortable. It's the easiest possible way to start talking to a therapist and keeping on top of your mental health. It's a cliche that a problem shared is a problem halved, but it's a cliche for a reason. May is Mental Health Month, and I want you to know that it's okay to ask for help. It may be the best thing you ever do. There are so many ways to ask for help, but BetterHelp makes it so easy. Visit betterhelp.com/DriveTribe or choose DriveTribe during sign up to get a special discount on your first month. The overall bodywork of the car is in remarkably good condition. There's the odd bump and scrape where little chunks have been taken out, but I guess in the Arctic, all the dangerous stuff is at ground level. There's nothing really to hit at bumper or rear wing height. It's all down there. Speaking of which, I remember Jeremy talked about how chunky the sump guard was on this. Yeah, that is thick. Definitely thicker than some of the stuff on the recent Grand Tour cars like Richard's DB9. It's interesting that that is basically an automatic modification to any Top Gear and Grand Tour car, because the mechanics know the guys are going to put these cars in positions that they don't want to be in. You'd think you'd want that sump guard to almost extend the entire length of the vehicle and just fully protect it. But I guess when you're in situations where things can go really wrong, you want to have access to those mechanicals like prop shafts and differentials instead of having a big metal plate in the way. And considering what happened on the trip, it's probably a good idea that there wasn't a full plate the entire way. We'll get to that damage in a bit. Cute little bull bar. It's about 1/3 of the size of the one on our Ram TRX, so 1-0 there. And then Jeremy's favourite modification, the spotlights, completely useless, but they look cool. The most heavy-duty modification on this vehicle is the fact that this is essentially a long wheelbase Hilux. To fit those wheels and tyres in, you needed to create more space. So what they've done is basically cut the vehicle and moved the front subframe, the steering rack, the suspension points forward and down to accommodate that tyre. Otherwise, you simply wouldn't fit it in the arch. Now on to probably the worst damage on the vehicle. You can see part of it here. This side step plate here has kind of got a bit of an arch to it. That should be straight. And if you remember, they hit a properly solid piece of ice. Let's have a look at the real damage underneath. Wow, that is a hit. So this is the long-range fuel tank of the vehicle. Apparently can take 180 litres of fuel, and that fuel is literally jet fuel. It's been modified to take A1 jet fuel. Crazy. But that is what happens when you drive into very old ice. Jeremy says it's up to 300 years old. That's not gonna shift for anything. And that's what it does to a piece of metal. The entire fuel tank is held in by a ratchet strap. This probably isn't the safest place to lie, but it's a Top Gear car. Come on. Arguably the most iconic mod on this truck, the toilet, the bumper dumper. Shall I sit where the great man once sat? Take my phone out. Is it sturdy? Oh, it is quite sturdy. Do you think Jeremy or James actually took a shit on this? Or do you think that was all for the camera? Comment down below. Is there anything in the back? Not really, apart from the shovel and storage. We've got a jack here. Nothing too special about it. Jeremy's shotgun holder. Is the shotgun still in place? No. Unless there's a pistol in there somewhere. It's gone. Now there is a very interesting story that's come to light quite recently. To me, the best bit of that entire episode is when they're training and Jeremy gets pushed into that icy water and has to crawl back out. You can tell he is furious when that happens. And he wants to tell that SAS man some pretty nippy stuff, but he doesn't get the chance. Now, Ben Collins recently did an interview with Andy Willman on his channel, Ben Collins Drives, and we're gonna steal the footage of him chatting to Andy about why that SAS man shoved Jeremy in.
And that's why I enjoyed the Polar Special, North Pole, because I remember they got round the sinkhole, they cut a hole in the ice.
Yeah.
Firstly, you'd done all this training, so the camera team saying, we were doing these things with tents.
Polar bear shooting.
And you had the SBS guy trying to show you survival skills, how to survive.
Yeah.
Apparently Jeremy took over the shotgun lesson, so I'm told. And at that point, his car was marked in the mind of this soldier. And he then held this grudge.
Guy said, he kind of built a mound of snow and he went, right, that's the polar bear, right? And he goes, so you got 5 shots in your shotgun, and he went, you fire one, I mean, obviously it's logical, you don't want to kill a polar bear, because you go one over its head, one to the left, one to the right, one on the ground, you got 4, right? And then if it's still coming out, you use the last one to blow its brains out, and you're like, and all of us were thinking it, but Jeremy was like, what the f***, so you just like, you waste 4 bullets, and this is polar bear. So it's like we were all dutifully, we're like left, right, up in the air on the ground, bang, and it's a piece of snow, so you're going to hit it. And then Jeremy got it. I think he just offloaded about 5 bullets into its face, and he was like, I think that's a better way of doing it. And like, SBS man's like,
yeah. But they've got long memories. So then when
polar bears?
The soldier.
SBA. Right.
Because he got him on the ice, and then said, right, get into the freezing water.
Oh yeah, we had to do that.
It's brilliant. And they're all lined up, and they start doing their, chat, but I'm not good. And the SBS guy just quietly walks around the back with his face blurred out, and just pushes Jeremy in. I've never laughed so hard. Because
Jeremy was still talking, wasn't he? Yeah.
He totally didn't expect it. His body was all limp. He had no idea it was coming. And not only that, then he got him out and he's yelling at him on the ground to roll in the snow. It's absolutely hilarious.
It was. We had to do that as off-camera crew.
Did you get in?
I was, but we jumped in voluntarily because we knew it was coming, whereas Jeremy he was still blathering. I think this guy had had enough, as you say, so enjoy himself kicking him in. But me, was that cold. It was like an iron bar went, because you try and keep your mouth shut and you can't, it's impossible with the cold. So you open your mouth and there's like iron bar of cold water goes down you. It's mind-blowing. And then yes, you do feel alive in a Wim Hof way.
Inside, this truck is in remarkably good condition. The interior is immaculate, but that's explained by the fact if you turn the ignition on, this truck has only done 2,348 miles. So basically it did the Arctic trip and then has been retired. It's a proper museum piece now. You might see that as a good thing or a bad thing. There is the original sat-nav screen in the car, but the boat sat-nav that was needed because they were literally sailing. Interestingly, the G&T aspect of that episode has been cut out if you go and watch it on rerun on iPlayer. Interesting move, BBC. The original boat sat-nav then would have been on this mount, but it has been removed. I thought it would have been that screen down there, but it turns out, and this is something definitely none of you will know, in the glove box is a PlayStation 2. That was to simply keep the guys amused when the going was slow or they'd cut filming and we're just chilling out. There is one game here. What is it? David Beckham Soccer. That is not what I thought that would be. Are Jeremy and James into football? I know Jeremy's like kind of a Chelsea fan. James definitely not. Now, we have learned something very interesting today. I said that this was the first car that reached magnetic north. It actually wasn't. Arctic trucks have the support Hilux. It's just over there where the Icelandic guys were sitting ready for this one to break down. And apparently this car got so damaged that it started to be really slow, and the presenters actually then switched into the support car. And the way you can tell that, if you go back and watch the episodes, the windows and windscreen are quite heavily tinted in this car. That was to stop the glare mucking about with the cameras, and to help with that, there's actually two interior lights that you can switch on to illuminate the presenters despite the tinting. The support vehicle doesn't have as dark a tint, so suddenly in that episode they'll go from a tinted car to a non-tinted car, and that was the vehicle that got them to magnetic north first. This vehicle got there just a bit after the support vehicle. I have been given the keys to this Top Gear legend. Will it start? Oh yeah, smooth as you like. It's not done many miles. In fact, how long's it been? 17 years? But yeah, that seems super smooth. Shall we take it for a drive? Actually, let's invite a friend along.
Oh, I'm gonna throw up. Yeah! Don't break it, don't break it, don't break it.